Welcome back to CBSN. Our Major Garrett there in the spin room. Major, we saw your interview. Really interesting to hear the back and forth there, and also that Donald Trump said off the top, the debate was not as tough as I thought it was going to be. I enjoyed it.
Well, I think that is a combination of a couple of things. And first, I just want to make sure everyone in our audience understands the heating system in the Fox Theater here in Detroit works just fine. But we had to walk across the street, so we all have our parkas on. But everything here is nice and warm.
Okay.
Forgive the parka whole routine thing. Sorry about that.
No apology necessary. Okay, understood.
For Trump, so for Trump, asserting that something was better than he expected or not as tough as expected is something I think he has chiseled for himself at this stage of the campaign. Because he knows, as he feels it, his campaign feels it, things get tougher the more you succeed. The iron rule in presidential politics is success doesn't make life easier, success makes things harder for you. Because every test you encounter is more difficult than the one that came before it. So he expected, I'm sure, much more aggressive, or at least he led us to believe, attacks from Ted Cruz and maybe Marco Rubio. I don't know how much tougher Marco Rubio could have been than he tried to be tonight. But in the main, either Trump thought he deflected better and had better answers. Certainly if health care had come up, he would have been ready for that. He wasn't ready a week ago and took on some water conspicuously by having no specifics other than the lines around the states that we all remember so well. So I think he felt he was better prepared and better able to deflect. But then you also heard in the conversation, he acknowledges something that is manifestly true. A conversation about Trump University does not help Donald Trump. Doesn't help him in Florida, may not help him nationally. And I guarantee you, having talked to the Rubio campaign after this debate, they believe every second that they're drilling down on that hurts Donald Trump's image in Florida and hurts it nationally. And they're going to continue to pound on it. As they've done their research, they think that issue, more than any of the others that have surfaced recently about Donald Trump, is among the most effective. And they're going to keep hammering on it. So in that sense, I thought Trump was surprisingly candid about the effect that that conversation has about him. And I was expecting him to say, no, it doesn't matter at all, because that's what he told me last week. He's clearly realized it has some effect, and he's got to figure out a way to get around it.
Yeah. Major Leslie Sanchez is here with me on set, and she has a question for you.
And it's to that point you just, hi Major, and I'm glad you're warm in there now and off the rooftop with all the snow that we admired. It's very clear he was giving you
yes,
the
it's a much better place. I'm loving it.
He's giving you, and I was curious how you felt his answer from last week was compared to this week. You know, he's always like, I think I did great, the online polls were great, but it looked like he was sweating there through some of those details on the flexibility issue on immigration, and kind of incoming, at least in the beginning of the debate. Did you get a different sense on really how he's responding to that in your interview?
So it's interesting. I've talked to Trump after every single debate he's participated in, and he runs one of two temperatures. Either very hot, meaning I won everything was outstanding, nothing holds me back, nothing gets me down, no question is in any way going to get me away from my sense that I was great and nearly perfect. And other times, tonight included, he's a little bit more reflective, a little bit more open to the idea that there is give and take, and he may not have hit every pitch out of the park. So tonight wasn't the first time I've encountered that side of sort of the Trump mentality in viewing his own debate performance. But there is one ritualistic aspect to every post-debate summary from Donald Trump. I won every online poll. He says that every single time. I have no idea if that's true tonight or if it's ever been 100% true, but I know for a fact he always says it. But the sweating and the sense that this was, at times, a tough debate, I think there was a little bit of Donald Trump sort of spinning it. Well, I expected it to be tougher. It was plenty tough tonight, and there were sequences on that stage tonight where his ears, in a metaphorical way, were pinned back, and he was on the defensive, and he was having to deflect far more than he was able to assert. And trust me, in the Trump world, asserting is always better than deflecting, and he probably had to do a little bit more of the deflecting than asserting than he was comfortable with.